Stephanie had always controlled the family narrative, what was shared, who was included. That evening, she posted a question in the group chat. The poll read, "Should Emma stay in the group? Yes or no?" No explanation, no discussion. Almost immediately, the first no votes appeared. Cousin after cousin clicked without hesitation.
They're actually voting me out. My own cousins. After all these years, they're treating me like a stranger.
8 names checked no within minutes. The decision was swift, unanimous, and public. Then the notification banner dropped. "You have been removed from the family chat." She stared at the screen, her thumb hovering over the keyboard. Words failed her.
In her mind, the sentence formed, "They just erased me." But she didn't type it.
She set the phone face down on the coffee table. The chat list was empty of family now. The screen dimmed to black. All that remained was the hollow silence and the quiet, burning sting. But the roots of the exclusion reached back 3 weeks to a trivial dispute over Easter plans. The family chat had been buzzing with suggestions for the annual brunch. Then Emma offered a different restaurant. Stephanie, the self-appointed organizer, bristled. She typed back immediately. Stephanie was curt. "We already agreed on the garden terrace. Why change it now?" Emma had replied gently, not wanting conflict. Just thought it would be nice to try something new, but her cousins quickly took Stephanie's side, the chat filling with dismissive comments. Within hours, the tone had shifted from minor disagreement to personal attack. Emma was made to feel like an interloper. And then Stephanie did what she always did when she wanted to settle a dispute. She made it a public vote. She typed out the question that would sever Emma from the family. Should Emma stay in the group?
Days later, I still couldn't tell if the vote was about brunch or about me.
The morning after the vote, a new message lit up her phone from Aunt Patricia. Patricia's words were polished but hollow. "Emma, it's nothing personal. We just need our space right now."
Nothing personal? They voted me out publicly, and Shez calling it space.
She stared at the screen, then opened the chat settings. She scrolled to the bottom and tapped block. The chat vanished from her list. For a moment, the world felt quieter. The digital noise finally silenced.
At least now they can't pretend to include me while circling like wolves.
She made coffee, went through the motions of her morning, but the sting lingered like a paper cut.
I should be angry, but mostly I just feel tired.
She set the coffee cup down and faced the day, carrying the ache beneath her composure. But not everyone in the family had turned their back. Every Sunday for 8 years, Emma drove to Oakwood Manor. She brought flowers, a book, or just her time. Frank always waited in his favorite armchair.
"There's my Sunday girl. You're the only one who remembers an old man's schedule."
I wouldn't miss it, Grandpa. Your stories are better than any Sunday brunch.
Frank didn't say much, but he watched. He understood more about the family than any group chat could convey.
"You know, I hear things even from this chair. The walls have plenty of ears."
He always sensed when I was carrying something heavy, but I never told him about the vote.
His health had been slipping. Each visit, she noticed his hands a little thinner, his voice a little softer.
"You're a good one, Emma. Don't let the noise drown out who you are."
For 8 years, her visits had been the quiet counterweight to everything the rest of the family ignored, and Frank had been taking notes. 3 days later, the family gathered at the small white church where Frank had attended services for 60 years. Inside, the floral arrangements were lavish, but the warmth among relatives was thinner than the winter light. Emma walked in alone and chose a seat near the back. No one saved a spot for her.
At least she showed. After that brunch fiasco, I wasn't sure she'd dare.
She has a talent for making everything awkward. Let's just get through today without more drama. They're already rewriting what happened. I was the one voted out, and now I'm the troublemaker.
Olivia passed by, her eyes catching Emma's for a fragile second. She mouthed "I'm sorry," then melted back into the crowd. But no one else approached. The cousins clustered around Patricia, their backs forming a wall.
I should leave. The funeral is over, and so is any chance of a real goodbye.
She stepped outside into the gray afternoon. Behind her, the door clicked shut, and the low murmur of family voices continued without her. A week after the funeral, a cream-colored envelope arrived in Emma's mailbox, handwriting she recognized from her childhood. Inside, the letter from Frank's attorney requested her presence at a private reading of the will, no mention of the wider family.
Private? That word buzzed in her mind like a held breath.
The same day, her cousins received only a standard probate notice, a form letter with no special instructions.
She called Margaret. This feels different. Why am I being asked to come alone? Your grandfather left very deliberate instructions, Miss Emma. He was a man who paid attention. The full explanation must wait until you're in my office. But I can tell you this, Frank did not forget your Sundays. He really knew. All those visits, and he was building something behind the scenes.
She hung up and stared at the invitation in her hand. The date was circled on her calendar like a promise. Meanwhile, the family group chat buzzed with mundane updates. No one suspected that the quietest cousin had just been handed a key. That evening, Emma sat alone in her living room, the attorney's letter unfolded on her lap for the third time.
He must have started planning this long before the vote. He saw it coming.
She remembered his voice, steady and low, the last Sunday she visited.
You've built bridges your whole life, Emma. Don't let anyone make you forget that.
He had never mentioned the family chat, but his eyes often held a knowing sadness.
8 years of Sundays. He never missed one. I thought I was the one showing up.
I've outlived my mistakes, sweetheart. But I still know how to settle a score.
She traced his signature on the letter, each loop an echo of his steady hand.
This isn't just an inheritance. It's a message, one he trusted only me to hear.
She placed the letter in her bag and looked at the calendar. Tomorrow, she would finally hear what he left unsaid. Early the next morning, a text from Olivia lit up Emma's phone. "Can we talk? I need to say something in person."
The cousin who didn't vote me out. That counts for something, but not for trust.
They met at a small cafe near the waterfront, the kind of place with too many memories.
I'm not asking you to forgive them, Emma. I just needed you to hear it from me. I'm sorry. You said no when the others didn't. That's not nothing, but it doesn't erase the rest. They think you're fine because you never complain. But I see you, Em. You're carrying something heavy. If only you knew. But I can't tell you. Not yet. I appreciate you reaching out. But I'm not ready to talk about all of it right now.
She walked away before Olivia could press further, the crisp air biting her cheeks.
One cousin cares. That's not an army. But maybe it's enough to hold on to.
The morning of the reading, Emma parked outside the law firm. The building felt older than it looked, heavy with secrets. In the lobby, 8 cousins clustered near a generic conference room. Stephanie shot Emma a thorny glance as she passed.
They have no idea they were summoned for the sidebar. I'm the main event today.
A legal secretary guided her down a quiet hall to Margaret's private office. The cousins' voices faded.
Ms. Emma, your grandfather instructed that this meeting be held apart from the others. Please, sit.
He built walls around this moment, even from the grave. He's protecting me.
Margaret sat across from Emma, her hands resting on a thick folder sealed with crimson wax.
I've been Frank's attorney for 30 years. I've never seen him more deliberate about a single clause.
Emma leaned forward. The air in the room thickened, every sound amplified. Margaret broke the seal and unfolded the pages. The reading was about to begin.
The first item is a separate trust, established 3 years ago, valued at $1.8 million.
The figure hung in the air like a verdict. Emma's fingers pressed into the armrests of her chair.
Frank left these words to Emma in recognition of her quiet loyalty and the visits she made every Sunday for the last 8 years of my life.
The words cut through every doubt she'd carried. He had seen everything.
Now, the second provision. Frank added a clause addressing the recent family exclusion. Any family member who participated in an organized exclusion of another family member shall be disinherited from this estate. The vote. The 8 who clicked no. He wrote this for them.
She pictured Stephanie's face, Patricia's polite dismissal. The architects of her exclusion had no idea the trap had already sprung.
Ms. Emma, you are the sole beneficiary of the trust. The others will be informed through probate in due course.
She sat frozen, the quietest cousin now holding a weapon forged from 8 years of Sunday afternoons.
When will the others find out? About the trust and the clause.
Probate will take several weeks. Until it's finalized, the contents are confidential. I strongly advise you not to discuss it. Frank was explicit. Let the process unfold without interference. Once probate closes, the letters will be dispatched.
So I have to sit on this for weeks, carry the knowledge that their world is about to crack, and say nothing.
Margaret slid a document across the desk. Emma signed where indicated, her hand steady despite the tremor in her chest.
Is there anything else I need to know? Any other surprise he left behind?
Just this. He trusted your judgment. And so do I. Use the time wisely, Emma.
Emma stood. The leather chair squeaked, a small, ordinary sound that felt like the turning of a lock.
Now I wait. And when the truth lands, the silence will be theirs to fill.
She walked out into the morning light, the envelope of secrets tucked beneath her coat, heavier than any ledger. The weeks that followed were still and tense. The family chat stayed quiet, but the silence between her cousins felt loaded. She went through the motions: work, coffee, errands. Stephanie passed her at the grocery store without a word, eyes sliding away like oil on water.
If I told them now, they'd just accuse me of gloating, and they'd still find a way to twist it into my fault.
At a distant cousin's baby shower, she watched the group cluster together. Their laughter felt like a door slamming.
I could warn Olivia. She's not like the others. But if I do, I break the only promise Frank asked of me.
The grandfather clock in her hallway ticked louder each day, counting down to the probate deadline. She drafted a message to Olivia twice. Each time she deleted it before pressing send. Some secrets weren't hers to share.
This isn't about revenge. It's about letting the truth do its own work.
The rain returned against her window, a rhythmic drumbeat that matched the gathering storm. Somewhere in a lawyer's office, the final probate papers were being stamped. The clock had almost run out. 2 days before probate closed, another message from Olivia lit up Emma's phone. Olivia's words were raw this time. "I know I have no right, but I can't stop thinking about how alone you must feel. Can I see you?" They met at the same cafe, but the air between them had shifted. Olivia's hands trembled around her cup.
I keep replaying that vote. I should have said more, fought harder. My silence was its own kind of cruelty. You're the only one who's shown up, Olivia. That matters. But some bridges can't be rebuilt with apologies alone. Is there anything I can do? Anything at all? I feel like you're carrying a bomb and I can't even see the timer. If only you knew how close the alarm is. But I'd be diffusing it for them, and they haven't earned that. Sometimes the best thing you can do for someone is to stay out of the blast radius. This isn't your weight to carry.
Olivia stared, 1,000 questions trapped behind her lips. She understood enough to know she wouldn't get answers.
One more day, then the letters go out, and the truth will speak louder than any apology ever could.
That night, Emma sat at her desk, the glow of her laptop the only light. She typed "elderly meal delivery" into the search bar.
If I'm going to honor him, it won't be with a plaque. It'll be with hot meals and a full table.
By morning, she had a name: Frank's Sunday Meals, and a call scheduled with the director of Oakwood Manor. She parked in the same lot where she'd visited Frank for 8 years. The building still smelled of lavender and old books.
I'd like to fully fund a Sunday meal delivery program for every resident who wants one, in memory of my grandfather.
She unfolded a 1-page proposal, a simple logo already sketched in the corner, a plate and a heart intertwined. 2 days later, she sat with a financial advisor, mapping out a sustainable endowment that would outlast her.
This trust wasn't meant to sit in a vault. It was meant to keep Frank's table full every Sunday, just like he wanted. They'll never understand this, but Frank would. And that's the only review I need,
The plans were set, the contracts drafted. All that remained was the final probate letter and the reckoning that would follow. The probate letters went out on a Tuesday morning. 11 envelopes, each stamped with the court's seal. Emma's arrived first, a single sheet confirming the trust's release. She read it silently, then set it down. At the same hour, 8 identical letters landed in the cousins' mailboxes. Patricia tore hers open first. The clause was highlighted in bold. Any family member who participated in organized exclusion shall be disinherited.
No, that's not possible. It was a chat group vote, a joke. He can't do this.
He specified the chat. He knew. All those Sundays Emma spent with him, he was watching us.
Stephanie grabbed her phone and dialed Margaret's office, her fingers shaking on the screen.
I need to speak to Margaret immediately. There's been an error in my grandfather's will.
The reply was calm, practiced. The will had been probated. Its terms were final. Olivia stood apart, her own letter unopened. She hadn't been named, and she knew why. In her apartment, Emma looked at Frank's photo. The reckoning had begun. By noon, the cousins had gathered at Patricia's house. The dining table was littered with torn envelopes and cold coffee.
This is your fault, Aunt Patricia. You told us it was nothing personal, that Emma would get over it.
I never imagined Frank would do something so vindictive. He was a gentleman, not a schemer.
He was watching us the whole time. The Sundays, the chat, he connected all of it. This isn't vindictive, it's karma.
Karma? Then where's our share? She got everything because she visited an old man for tea. We were his grandchildren, too.
She tried Margaret's number again. 3 tries, 3 voicemails. The estate was settled. The attorney would not intervene.
There is no legal claim. The lawyers said it was explicit. The chat vote triggered the disinheritance. We signed our own names.
The only person who can change this now is Emma, if she chooses to share anything. And after how you treated her,
She blocked the chat months ago. She probably hates us. Why would she lift a finger?
The room fell quiet. Outside, rain streaked the windows like static. They had built a fortress of exclusion, and now the door locked from the other side. In her dimly lit living room, Stephanie opened the family chat for the first time in weeks. Her fingers shook. She typed a message into the void. Emma, we were wrong. Please come back. Then she hit the invite button. Emma's phone buzzed on her kitchen counter. The screen lit up with a notification from a name she had blocked months ago.
Stephanie, now you want me back? After the vote? After the silence? Now you remember my name.
The chat preview showed a single heart emoji and the words, sorry and please. She didn't tap the notification.
An invitation doesn't erase 8 years of exclusion. It doesn't make the sting any less real.
She locked the phone and set it face down on the counter. The screen dimmed, taking Stephanie's name with it. A moment later, another buzz. Then another. The cousins were circling, desperate for a reply she would not give.
They didn't earn my words. Not today. Maybe not ever.
She walked to the living room and sank into the sofa. The phone left behind. The silence was hers to keep. For 10 minutes, Emma sat motionless, the evening light fading across her living room. The phone remained in the kitchen. Then she stood deliberately, walked back to the kitchen, and lifted the phone as if retrieving a relic. She opened the invitation. The full text was a plea, a heart emoji, the word sorry, a promise to change.
They didn't want me until they lost. It's not an apology. It's a withdrawal slip.
She scrolled through the chat preview, more messages from other cousins, each one fumbling for a ribbon of forgiveness.
8 years of Sunday visits, and they think a single invite erases the rest.
She set the phone face down on the counter, the screen dimming to black. No reply, no react.
Some silences are answers. This one is a door closing.
She looked at Frank's photo on the mantelpiece. His smile seemed to carry a knowing weight. She walked to the window and watched the city settle into night. The cousin's storm had passed. Her calm remained. The first Sunday of the program arrived with a bright autumn sky and a chill that promised a long winter. A branded van pulled up to the entrance, its side bearing the simple logo of a plate and a heart intertwined. Emma helped the staff carry the first stack of insulated bags, her own hands steady despite the weight.
This meal is from Frank. He would have wanted you to have something warm on a day like this.
An elderly woman touched the lid of her container and whispered, "I remember Frank. He always said his granddaughter would show up." Emma sat down at the table with them, sharing a coffee and listening to stories about her grandfather.
This is what he wanted. Not a monument, but a Sunday table full of voices.
The common room hummed with conversation and the clink of cutlery. Staff members moved between tables, refilling coffee. Before leaving, Emma paused at the entrance and looked back at the sign, Oakwood Manor. It felt, for the first time, like home. The van pulled away for its next delivery, but the program had already taken root. Frank's Sunday table would never be empty again. After the meals were served, Emma slipped away from the common room and walked the familiar corridor to Frank's wing. She paused outside his old door. A small brass plaque beside it read, Frank's Sunday Meals, established by his granddaughter.
He knew I'd come back. This room still smells like his cologne.
She lifted the framed photo of them from the side table, a younger Emma hugging Frank at a family gathering.
All those Sundays, I never missed one, and he never missed noticing.
She set the frame back and placed a small candle beside it. The flame flickered, casting a soft glow. She sat in his empty armchair, pulling the knitted blanket over her lap. The silence was not empty. It was full.
I did right by you, Grandpa. Your table will never be empty again.
She blew out the candle, the wisp of smoke rising like a whispered amen. She stood, straightened the blanket, and left the room as it was, a quiet shrine to 8 years of unwavering love. Spring arrived gently, and with it the third month of Frank's Sunday Meals. The gardens blushed with color. The common room hummed with anticipation each Sunday. Residents claimed their tables early, eager for the day.
I've been practicing the crossword all week, one man told Emma. Just so I can beat you.
A chorus of laughter followed. Faces that had once been lonely now lit up with belonging.
They don't just come for the meals, they come for each other.
Emma poured coffee for the table, her movements easy and familiar among them. She had found her place. She had become a fixture, not an outsider, a granddaughter to all who had none. The staff knew her coffee order.
Frank would have loved this. A full house, no empty chairs.
Sunlight streamed through the tall windows, catching the steam from the coffee cups like a benediction. The afternoon stretched on, slow and golden. This was the legacy Frank had designed, not in paper but in people. That evening, Emma returned to her apartment and set her keys gently in the bowl by the door. She crossed to the mantelpiece and lifted Frank's framed photograph, her touch light as a whisper.
You'd be proud? The table is full, Grandpa. No empty chairs.
A quiet smile settled on her lips, unburdened, true, and entirely at ease. She set the frame back in its place, beside a small unlit candle she kept for Sundays. Then she sank into her favorite corner of the sofa, the city lights beginning to twinkle beyond the window. The room was silent, but it was a full silence, no longer the hush of exclusion, but the peace of chosen company. The photo of Frank caught the last amber glow of evening, his smile unchanged, his presence still felt. Emma closed her eyes, and for the first time in years, she felt entirely at home.